Namaste. The man, cow, and horse sacrifices feature as hymns in the Rig Veda, the primary scripture of ancient India. Vedas mean knowledge, and they constitute the ancient eternal wisdom revealed by seers, rishis, who engaged in extensive periods of meditation and contemplation, pursuing the existence and purpose of a majestic mastery, yet confounding creation. The Vedas constitute four books: the Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvaveda. Translations and interpretations of these have always been subject to several meanings. This is largely due to the Nirukta, a treatise on Vedic etymology, which lists definitions of names and nouns. These nouns or names, according to Patanjali, are derived from verbal roots. Thus, the many cognates and epithets of the deities in the Vedas. The European Orientalists and Indologists based their commentaries on the Vedas on the premise that these primary texts were evidence of a primitive Indo-European belief system grounded in a pleasing of the deities to win favors and boons. Thus, the Narameda, Gomeda, and Ashwamedha were respectively translated and interpreted as the sacrifice of a man, cow, and horse. Etymological imperatives. This presentation offers a detailed exposition of these sacrifices using Panini and Yaska's method of analyzing the semantics, which is imperative for the study of any Vedic vocabule. We are greatly indebted to the modern scholars of Sanskrit and Vedic studies who have used modern technology to make these etymologies easily accessible. This allows for an analytic derivation of a terminology vital to a deeper understanding of the world view and underlying esoteric deliberations of Vedic philosophy. With the wealth of information now available and the skills to access them, a world of opportunities reveal plausible ventures that explore new vistas or horizons. At all times, an adherence to the linguistic norms that pin such an epistemological exegesis must serve as the beacon to attempt any alternate suggestions. This then serves as the rationale for the etymology of Ashwa, presented by Yasker and Panini as being the authentic authority for a translation of these hymns. The presentation examines in detail the derivation and etymology of Ashwa and suggests that the method adopted serve as the accredited norm for the translation of Vedic concepts to avoid any interpretations based on ancient practices and worldviews that may or may not have existed. Ashwamedha. We undertake an exposition of some verses of the Ashwamedha Sukta, which is from Rig Veda Mandala 1, Sukta 162. These have been presented here as an illustration of translations based on Panini and Yaska's treatment of grammar and etymology. The first two verses are introductory invocations to the deities in the usual style of a sukta. The third verse begins with the sacrificial ritual. Esha chagaha puro ashvena vajina pushno bhago niyate vishwadevyah abhipriyam yat parodasham arvata tvashtedenam soshravasaya jinvati. Eshah, this in the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 1.4.6 denotes the self Atman as the focal point of inquiry. Chagaha is the seeker of truth, one who moves towards illumination from cha, meaning light, plus gaha, motion. Panini gives the derivation as being from chad, to cover or illuminate, plus the unadi suffix ga. Nirukta 2.14 links chaga with the one who uncovers truths, and the Maitri Upanishad 6.21 as pranayama, the harmonizing breath and consciousness. Puraha means in front or ahead. Ashvena, by or through the force of prana, from ash, swift motion, plus a, transcendence. Nirukta 12.29 interprets Ashwa as controlled energy, prana. In Chandogya Upanishad 1.3.3, prana is the sustainer of life. Vajina means by the swift, energetic Ashwa, prana's dynamism, Vaj, to be strong. Pushnaha means of Pushan, the guider of journeys. In Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad, Pushan symbolizes the inner guide, the Antaryami, and Bhagaha is portion or share from the root Bhaj, to divide. Niyate means to be led or guided. Vishwe Devyaha means to all the gods, the universal divine force. Kathopanishad 2.2.7 describes Brahman as the Vishwa Devyaha, the all-pervading reality. Abhipriyam means dear or beloved, referring to the ritual offering. Yat, which refers to Purodasham. Purodasham, the ritual cake, which symbolizes the ego or ahankara. Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 1.4.6 refers to it as a greater ritualism urging an inner sacrifice. Arvata, by or through the swift horse, another term for Ashwa, emphasizing prana's flow. Twashta, got from Twashtri, is the divine craftsman, the shaper of consciousness. Nirukta 10.7 associates Twashtri with inner transformation. It, indeed. Enam, him, referring to the seeker, Chagaha. So Shravasaya means for spiritual attainment. Jinvati, he invigorates or enlivens. Prashna Upanishad 2.5 states that prana alone enlivens all beings. The simple translation then reads, this seeker, Chagaha, guided ahead by the force of prana, Ashvena, the swift vital energy, Vajina, is led as the universal offering, Vishwadevyaha, to Pushan's portion, Pushno Bhagaha, the beloved ritual offering, Abhipriyam, Parodasham, carried by the swift breath, Arvada. He, Twashtri, indeed invigorates Jinvati for the sake of spiritual glory or achievement. So Shravasaya. A philosophical synthesis of this mantra would read: Chagaha, the seeker transcends ego, purodasham, through prana, ashvena, or arvata. Aja is the unborn, immortal prana, as stated in Chandogya Upanishad 6.8.7. The mantra mirrors the journey from ritualism to inner realization. Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 1.4.6. It encapsulates the Upanishadic drift from external ritual to internalized spirituality. The Chagaha seeker is the aspirant guided by Ashvena, prana's transcendent force, moving beyond the egoic Purodasham, the ritual offering, toward the Vishwadevyaha, universal divine. Pushno Bhagaha, Pushan's portion, represents the inner compass of consciousness, aligning the seeker's journey with cosmic order. Twashta or Twastri, as the divine architect, reshapes the seeker's awareness through Arvata, the dynamic flow of breath, which transforms the biological respiration into a vehicle for Shravasaya, spiritual achievement. The mantra's essence lies in Aja, the unborn self, where prana's rhythm dissolves duality, revealing the seeker's unity with Brahman. Through pranayama, the ritual becomes a metaphor for ego sacrifice, echoing the Brihad Aranyaka's call to transcend form and realize the immortal, unmanifest truth. Let us now look at the second verse, Rigved 1.162.4, which reads: Yad havishyam ritushaha devayanam trir manushaha paryavasham nayati or paryashvam nayati. Atra pushnaha prathamo bhaga eti yajyam devebhyaha prati veda yannajaha. Yat, which refers to the offering, havishyam, oblation from the root who, to offer. Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 3.9.7 equates sacrifice yajna with self-knowledge, ritushaha, according to the seasons. Ritu plus shas, devayanam, the path of the devas, is the spiritual ascent. Chandogya Upanishad 5.10, 1 and 2 describes Devayana as the soul's journey to Brahman. Three times stands for body, speech, and mind. The Nirukta 3.4 interprets three as the triad of existence: Bhuta, Bhavya, Bhavishya, past, present, and future. Manushaha, humans, who are the ritual performers. Pari, around or thoroughly. Ashwam, the prana, the vital force. Chandogya Upanishad 1.3.3 identifies prana as the sustainer of life. Nayanti means they lead or guide. The second line of the mantra reads: Atra, here, in this ritual context, Pushnaha, of Pushan, is the divine guide. So, Pushan serves as the guide. Nirukta 2.14 links Pushan to the nourisher of the seeker's path. Pratamaha, first or foremost. Bhagaha, the portion, symbolizes the seeker's share of divine grace. Eti, he approaches or attains yajyam, the sacrifice or inner offering of ego. Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 1.4.6 redefines yajya as meditation on the self. Devebhyaha, to the gods, the cosmic principles. Prativedayan, announcing or declaring. Ajaha, as the unborn self. A plus ja, not born. Nirukta 2.1 interprets Ajaha as the eternal, unmanifest Brahman. Mundaka Upanishad 2.1.2 states that the unborn self is realized through truth. A simple translation would read as follows: which oblation, Havishyam, aligned with the seasons, Ritushaha, and the path of the gods, Devayanam, humans, Manusha, guide threefold, Trihi, around the Prana Ashwam. Here, Atra, Pushan's foremost portion, Pushanaha Pratamaha Bhaga, approaches Eti, announcing Prativedayan, the sacrifice yajyam, to the gods, Devebhya, as the unborn self, Ajaha. The purport of the mantra is: this mantra elevates ritual sacrifice to a metaphysical act, where Ashwam, prana, becomes the axis around which the yajyam, inner offering, revolves. The threefold guidance symbolizes the harmonization of body, speech, and mind in pursuit of Deva Yanam, the soul's ascent or rise. Pushanaha Bhagaha, Pushan's portion, represents divine grace, guiding the seeker toward Aja, the unborn self, transcending cyclical rebirth. The ritual, reimagined through Prativedayan, the announcement, becomes a declaration of unity with cosmic principles, Devebhya, echoing the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 3.9.7, which states that the mantra dissolves external rites into the internalized realization of Brahman. Here, Ajaha embodies the Upanishadic paradox, where the self is both the sacrificer and the sacrifice, the path and the goal. Let us now look at the third mantra, Rig Veda 1.162.5. It reads: Hotar Dvaryo Avayah Agnimindho Gravagrabha Ut Sanstha Suviprah Tena Yajena Swar Ankritena Swishtena Vakshana Aprinadvam. Hota, the invoking priest or the ritual facilitator, is the seeker's intellect, the buddhi, guiding the sacrifice as stated in Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 3.9.7. Advaryu is the executing priest, the ritual performer. The Nirukta 3.20 associates Advaryu with disciplined action, Karma Yoga. Avayah, summon or to call out, from the root ve, to urge. Agnimindha is the kindler of Agni, the igniter of the inner fire. Chandogya Upanishad 5.24.2 equates Agni with prana. Ashwa Grabha is the striker of the flint stones, the stones with which we start the Yajya or Havan. The Soma ritualist, Utta, and Sanstha, the reciter of hymns. Nirukta 1.15 links recitation to mental clarity. The Chagas, illumination, and Suvipraha, the wise sage, the realized seeker. Ajaha, as stated in Kathopanishad 2.2.1. Tena, by or through that yajyena, yajya or sacrifice, the inner offering, from the root yaj, to worship. Swarankritena means well performed, su plus arankrita. It symbolizes the seeker's integration of body, mind, and prana, ashwa. Swishtena, well offered, su plus ishta. Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad defines yajya as self-knowledge and vakshanaha as strengthening. Nirukta 3.4 associates growth with prana's expansion. Ashwa Apranadhvam, Nirukta 2.14, links Chaga to the one who reveals hidden truths. Pranadhvam. The Maitri Upanishad 6.21 links seekers with pranayama, prana plus a plus ya plus ma, harmony of the in and out breath and consciousness. Puraha is in front of or ahead. Ashvena, by or through the force of prana, through its swiftness. Nirukta 12.29 interprets Ashwa as controlled energy. Prana. Chandogya Upanishad 1.3.3 identifies prana as the sustainer of life. Vajana means by swift, energetic Ashwa, reinforcing prana's dynamism. Pushanaha of Pushan, guider of journeys, the inner guide, Antaryami, in Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 3.7.3, Bhagaha, portion or share, Niyate, he is led, Vishwadevyaha, to the all gods, the universal divine force. In Kathopanishad 2.2.7, Brahman is the all-pervading reality. Abhipriyam, dear or beloved. Yat, which is Purodasham, the ritual cake symbolizing the ego or ahamkar. Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 1.4.6 explains that the ritualism urges inner sacrifice. Arvata, by the swift horse, Ashvena. Twasta, the divine craftsman, the shaper of consciousness. Nirukta 10.7, Twastri is the inner transformation. It, indeed, enam, him, chagaha, so Shravasaya, for glory or spiritual achievement, Jinvati, it invigorates or enlivens. Prashna Upanishad 2.5 states, prana alone enlivens all beings. A simple translation reads as follows: this seeker, Chagaha, guided ahead by the force of prana, Ashvena, the swift vital energy, Vajina, is led as the universal offering, Vishwadevyaha, to Pushan's portion, Pushno Bhagaha, the beloved ritual offering, Abhipriyam Purodasham, carried by the swift breath, Arvata. He indeed invigorates Jinavati for the sake of spiritual glory, so Shravasaya. A philosophical synthesis of the mantra is Chagaha, the seeker transcends ego, Purodasham through prana, Ashvena Arvata. Aja, unborn, is implicit in immortal prana as stated in the Chandogya Upanishad 6.8.7. The mantra mirrors the journey from ritualism to inner realization. Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 1.4.6. This mantra encapsulates the Upanishadic shift from external ritual to internalized spirituality. The Chagaha, the seeker, symbolizes the aspirant guided by Ashvena, prana's transcendent force, moving beyond the egoic Purodasham ritual offering toward the Vishwadevyaha, the universal divine Pushno Bhaga. Pushan's portion represents the inner compass of consciousness, aligning the seeker's journey with cosmic order. Twashta, as the divine architect, reshapes the seeker's awareness through Arvata, the dynamic flow of breath, transforming the biological respiration into a vehicle for Shravasaya, spiritual achievement. The mantra's essence lies in Aja, the unborn self, where prana's rhythm dissolves duality, revealing the seeker's unity with Brahman. Through pranayama, the ritual symbolizes ego sacrifice, echoing the Brihadaranyaka's call to transcend form and realize the immortal, unmanifest truth. Because of time constraints, an exposition of only 3 verses has been undertaken. This presentation suggests that an exposition of Vedic mantras be considered authentic only if the nouns and names and their derivations conform to the prescribed norms stipulated in the Vedangas and in particular the Nirukta, Nigantu and Shiksha. We cannot accept translations and interpretations that conform to the Western Indological view that the early Aryans were a nomadic tribe who indulged in these blood sacrifices so that they could bargain with the gods. The unfortunate reality is that besides the prominent Western universities, Indian universities also teach Indology in the same Western vein. Our youth then are also led to believe that our forebears were primitive and uncivilized, and the old myth becomes entrenched in the Indian psyche. This presentation makes an earnest appeal to the government departments of education and all institutions that teach Indology to desist from this destruction of our legacy and heritage, which strikes at the very roots of the history of Indian civilization. Thank you and namaste.